So I'm Alex Remy, I'm the brand director on Rainbow Six at Ubisoft Montreal Studio. It's a very, very special season for us. We have been through a 6-month period where almost no content was out because we focused on health, which is a huge priority for us and a big focus. So we had to postpone a season of content, right? So Blood Orchid is not only content coming back to the game, but it's the biggest season possible because it has the map from Hong Kong as well as the 2 operators from the SDU, so Hong Kong. In addition, we have a 3rd operator, LA, the first operator from the GROM, the Polish CTU, and it includes all the data that we've been reworking, a lot of the improvement and fixes from that whole 3 months of health that's coming out. So it's the biggest update and biggest patch we've ever done. So it's expect some time to download, but the biggest season we've ever made. Now, I feel very, very positive about this. First, you have to understand that doing such a move, like postponing content so that we could focus on improving aspects like matchmaking, aspects like the servers, that's never a good thing to announce. It's never welcomed by community with cheering up and such. So it was a tough decision to make, but it was the right decision. We've already implemented first-time matchmaking, and we're seeing extremely good results on the timing of the matchmaking as well as the quality of the matchmaking. D2 servers, which has faster server that we have deployed on test servers and will be soon on PC and all platforms, are showing tremendously good result in terms of stability and reliability. So already we see the foundations of that work that's been done for the past 3 months coming to fruition, and it's really, really encouraging. As you mentioned, season health, it's almost the beginning. We've laid out the groundwork, we fixes a lot of things, and you'll see on the patch. Lighting, for instance, is one of the big changes we're adding on all maps. But from there, we have like a lot of work still to improve the quality of service, which is the whole main focus, I'd say, that we need to do. But you mentioned it, there are 2 operators on the defense side. One of them, Legion, so he's a trapper, but his main role is going to be to counter pushes on the objective. He's a goo mine, so his gadget that you can deploy anywhere on the ground, and is a cloaking sort of mine that gets almost invisible after you deployed it, is really the tool to counter pushes, to slow down the attack when it sort of converges on the objective. We want to make that phase slightly more trickier for the attackers to get in a room and capture the objective. So he's going to be like your go-to guy when you want to slow down the pacing on the objective. Ella on the ground, so the other defender, she's a different sort of tool. She's a trapper as well, because she has those sort of a concussion mine that you can deploy and put on any surfaces around you. She's more of a roamer / trapper, so her objective is not to defend the objective room, but actually roaming the map. And in order for her to be safer, her mines are going to be ways to actually make her escape rooms safer for her and not being attacked from behind. So I think those 2 defenders have very different roles on the team or on the meta, and very different play style. When it comes to Yin, so that's the attacker from Hong Kong, she's the entry fragger by definition. Her Candela flashbang device is extremely powerful and extremely interesting to play, so she's going to be very, very interesting. Every time that we're looking at developing a new operator, it's a role that we want to enforce as designers. So it comes from the a creative or designer's vision to either expand the different roles, give more choices to the players, find alternative to some must-pick operator. I'll take a very simple example. The introduction of Ibana back 2 seasons or 3 seasons ago was because we felt that Thermite was an absolute must-pick all the time in attack, and we wanted to create an alternative of someone that was able, that has the ability as well to break into reinforced wall. When you do think about a meaningful meta for a game, you have to have alternatives for every pick. You have to have choice for every pick. There's no must pick whatsoever. So in the long term, the idea is really to grow the number of operators and alternatives as much as possible, and add new roles and new functions so that the meta is as meaningful as possible. I should have taken the level designers with me, because he's been the one that has actually all the specificities. If you want a special focus on that point, I think he's really the good guy. I know some of the aspect of the map were toying with the slightly longer range encounters, and I think the whole first floor is all about this. Like Rainbow Six is very much of a super close quarter, extremely short range fire exchanges, and with that map there was the idea and the intention to toy with longer range engagements. So that's something that we'll see how much it develops, but the first floor is very much about this. I agree. I absolutely can just say that the second operator will come in the from the Polish Grom is gonna come in the next upcoming next season in around November. Yeah. But for the moment, that's all I can say, unfortunately. We're always gonna be putting pretty much. The idea is to again the philosophy with the Alpha Pack. It's about rewarding people that are playing the game. So each time that you play the game, you have a chance to drop an Alpha Pack that contains different customization items. If you don't have it on that first game, then your chances of winning one increase each time. So there's an absolute certainty that you'll drop an item at a certain point. What we've seen so far is like the feedback as well as the data we have has been tremendous about the Alpha Pack. So obviously we want to expand, adding more items, adding better items. I think the mechanic is in place. Having the content is an absolute no-brainer for us. So we'll see more about the Alpha Packs later, absolutely. No, not at all. Really, the intention was about how do we put in place a system that rewards the player for playing the game. Again, we value the time that you play, because that means that you here for the matchmaking, for the whole ecosystem, your time investing in the game is time that we feel should be rewarded. And it's always cool, you know, when having a surprise, dropping something when you do play a game. I think as a player that makes a lot of sense. It's really something that we want to enforce. But no, there was no previous intentions of actually trying to shift a little bit some of the behaviors that you mentioned. So it's very interesting. Yeah, toxicity is clearly one of the aspects that today is taking a lot of our attention and discussion. There's several different aspects such as team killing and levers that are the two main aspects we feel in terms of behaviors that we'd love to fix. Then again, the tools and the proper solutions to battle against those behaviors are a little complex. On any multiplayer game, how you deal with toxic behaviors, how you prevent it, how you deal with someone who has been toxic is not easy. There's been on any game like different solutions put in place. Some of them have stuck, some have moved, and I think we are looking at what is the best solution for Rainbow Six, but it can't be an easy solution. That's one of the things that I was mentioning actually with you guys was in a previous interview is the fact that Team Kill, the easiest solution would be, hey, you know what, remove friendly fire. But it's such a drastic change in terms of philosophy and DNA of the game that is not something that you want to do. That is not something that we will do. Then if you want to have a proper way of dealing with this, it's much more complex and taking much more time. But yes, keep in mind that is among the very, very few priorities that we are looking at, especially now that the game has expanded so much in terms of population. It feels amazing. I think, especially like looking down like on the past year and a half, I think at no point we were even dreaming of hitting that milestone. So now you're here, you're like, oh my God, that is awesome. But even more than the 20 million, I think that's the overall trend that's, you know, like starting from there and is going right here. And it shows absolutely no sign of fatigue, no signs of decreasing. So it's like, can we dream about 30 million now? Or but mainly that gives us a lot of serenity in saying, okay, let's talk year 3, year 4, year 5 and more. Let's talk 100 operators. Let's talk those, you know, very long-term commitment to the game. And that's extremely, extremely cool. You don't have to reinvent yourself, you just have to expand. So that's super cool.